Doom 3. Let's talk about that. Before I start, I would like to mention that this is my first fully scripted review type video, and I hope that you let me know what you think in the comments, as this is like a pretty new experience for me. So remember Doom 3. 2004 is when the hell game that Doom 3 descended upon us in a bid to revitalise the series with a new twist upon it. No longer the run and gun, press the button, shoot the demon, fast-paced, old-style game that it was remade into a horror action game style that was increasingly growing in popularity, with similar game franchises following suit like Resident Evil 4 in 2005 and new singular games such as The Suffering in 2004, either that or around the same year or couple after. In my opinion, it was in order to bring the horror to the mainstream, as back then it was considered a very niche thing. While it is niche now, still, it is more popular than it was previously. The other reasons include that the previous games were either being brought out before the 2000s, which we all know what happens is that they either disappear into obscurity or Doom 3 happens. So let's say Doom 3. Doom 3 was a good attempt to remaking the origin story of the game, which, in short, a corporation goes to Mars to, obviously, work on Mars. Opens a portal to hell, demons break loose, and you have to kill them all. Simple? Yeah. Doom 3 adds more of a horror twist and focuses on the darkness and spoopy, with a hint of survival and jump scares galore. Unlike the previous games, which I have mentioned, is run and gun. The origin isn't too different from the original, but there is a side story which was inserted that explains too much just by being there. I mean, in the opening scene, there was a shady dude getting off his ship with a suitcase, looking around, being overly suspicious, as if he was maybe a background character, pushing the story without being the main focus, as he was in a couple of the scenes. Similar to that in G-Man in Half-Life, I feel it might have been a bit more interesting and it had a bit more intrigue when making the story deeper for those who pay attention for the environment. I do like the exploration aspect of the game, where you are kind of rewarded with some secrets, voice recordings, text boxes, and loot for basically being attentive. What I mean is that you have to pay attention to what you are reading sometimes, as they include passwords for nearby doors or storage, which can give you massive advantages when fighting the number of demons dropping out from the shadows, keeping you on edge. Speaking of demons, the designs of the demons themselves, being summoned into a true third dimension, are pretty great, with some genuinely horrific ideas and fantastic designs pushing the Doom franchise into the 21st century. Now, I'm aware the game is a bit old now, but the new Doom Eternal is on the horizon, offending people stupid enough to be offended by a joke within the demo. I thought I would take the time to revisit some of the earlier games in the franchise. Should I mention that the Doom series is my favourite series of games? It is my favourite series of games. The downside of this new, at the time, game is that when it became popular enough to make a film out of it, they fuck it up. Unlike using the design for the Pinky Demon from Doom 3 instead of the classic Doom Ultimate Pinky, making the whole demon outbreak a Resident Evil in space. That's going off topic though. Now normally I would have just non-stop ranting about the things I disliked about the game compared with the older and more superior games, but here are some true problems with this game. Starting with the environment design. When the main character got off the ship for the first time, I was in awe on how amazing the game looked on the struggling PC that me and my brother had to share back then. But a few hours into the game, I was seeing the same walls that I had exhaustively used for near most of the game become very, very boring. The only reason I kept looking at them was to make sure I was actually not getting scared by anything that was coming out of the vents behind me. Again. Like a good number of horror games, the jump scares themselves became super samey within a couple of hours and didn't faze me very much, barring a couple of genuinely terrifying moments where I had actually forgotten what was behind the door. And here's a hint, it might have been a demon. The fear factor also died down while holding anything larger than the pistol, because a few well-placed shots put most of the demons down within a few seconds of their encounter. So to be honest, I don't have much to complain about the game, apart from those couple of things. I don't really feel that the game is canon with the rest of the games, mainly because the massive change in gameplay and pacing. In short, it was a great attempt at remaking the Doom universe, but fell short of the previous games. That said, I feel that you should still play the game, as itself is pretty damn good, and it's its own game. Recently, a couple of the people I follow on YouTube discussed rating systems, and that some of the companies that use them don't really use them to explain how good a game is. So I'll use a pretty simple 3-point system without numbers. The games themselves will possibly be rated a void, where the game isn't really all that good and you won't really lose anything by not playing it. Sale, I would recommend that you wait for it to go on sale, maybe, hopefully it's one of those nice little Steam sales, or buy. It's probably worth buying now or as soon as you can probably afford it. I'm not saying that you should get it, I'm saying that it's, in my opinion, worth getting. And in this case, the game is rated sale/buy. It's not exactly a must-have, but it's worth it if you want a fun first-person horror shooter. Thanks for watching and listening to me talk about Doom 3. If you want me to have more reviews like this, let me know. And if you like it, hit the subscribe button as well as the like button. Hit the bell to get notifications when I upload, whether it be gameplay reviews or just me ranting about whatever. And I'll see you next time. Bye now.